Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Andrea Giraldo. Welcome to Meetings of the Minds, brought to you by the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in partnership with BronxNet. This show was created in direct response to the COVID-19 pandemic as a way to highlight the work of our members and partners, as well as to understand the resources they have to help our community in those difficult times. Our first guest today is developer and the director and CEO of the Diaz Agency Corp. She joins us to speak about the services her organization is offering its clients and to highlight how she is empowering women entrepreneurs. So please welcome to the show, Sojey Fernandez. Hello, my dear. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for having me.
Of course, always a pleasure. So let's start, if you can share a little bit with our audience about your professional background and how you decided to get yourself into this career.
Well, to get started, I have many backgrounds. Why? Because I've been selling since I was 13 years old in one of my uncle's stores. So since I was really young, my background has always been sales and marketing because I usually help with the marketing of the store. But then when I went to school, I started with industrial psychology because I wanted to understand the consumer behavior and also to create and develop structures that are human-centric. And then after that, I came to the United States when I was like 20 years old. And then I kept my career in marketing management. And I ended with my agency because I did many years in the industrial organizations. And then I said one day, I feel that I'm made for something else. I feel that I'm made to have my own business. I have a big purpose and how I'm going to be able to fulfill that purpose. And then I launched my agency 10 years ago.
Wow. So fast forward today, what kind of services do you offer to entrepreneurs? If you can elaborate a little bit on what the business is about.
Yes, absolutely. I own a marketing and digital advertising agency, and we encompass too many services. We do marketing consulting services. We also do strategies, everything that has to do with content creation for social media, branding, rebranding, website, front end and back end. And also we do media buying, everything that has to do with the technology and the marketing behind the small businesses and also to the big corporations, we do it.
But focused from digital?
Yes, for the digital marketing,
Exclusively?
Yes.
Excellent. And can you share a little bit on your role and what is your everyday activities like? What exactly do you do, and you have other people around you?
Yes, we have a team from graphic designer to website developer and a strategic marketing strategist. However, my role in the agency as a small business owner, we tend to do a lot of different areas, but my focus the most is in the strategic side. I develop how we're gonna go from point A to point Z. I do a lot of the networking, the business acquisition, and I also oversee the projects, and I help my team to execute the projects to help our clients to go to what we offer and what we said to the client that we would do. So I basically oversee all the projects on a daily basis.
You sound like a very busy woman.
Really busy.
Really busy, really busy. So I know for confidentiality purposes, you may not be able to share who's your client.
Yes.
But what sort of businesses are your clients?
Yes, we serve from a small business to enterprise and also to government entities. Has NWBE certified. We are certified.
Excellent.
Yes, so we are certified for New York City and New York State, and also for the Port Authority. And I can share one of the two major accounts just because they're public and it's fine. So we work with the New York City Transportation, and recently we started...
MTA?
No, the New York City Transportation,
Okay.
DOT. DOT, and we also started working with Dasney.
And so that's as far as your government clients, but understanding that you also are involved with small businesses. What type of businesses do you see calling you that are wanting and eager to get involved in digital marketing and start implementing new and exciting things?
Yes, we work a lot with women entrepreneurs. When the pandemic hit, I remember that we digitalized 100 of brands. We help a lot of the small business communities. So in the verticals that we help, it was home care agencies, beauty, of wellness, beauty spa. We also help a lot of nonprofit organization, like little small nonprofit that was getting started. So that's basic what are the verticals that we help in the small communities. So has to be with small contractors also, GCs, so many different business verticals we have help.
So your capability basically can cover all.
I would not say it all,
Okay.
but the majority
A restaurant, a bakery, a
Yes,
cafe.
absolutely, yes.
Excellent,
yes.
excellent. So I always like to ask this question, and thinking of those that are coming up, right? The youth, which is so important and needs so much mentorship and guidance. What recommendation would you give a young lady, a young man who wants to pursue a career such as yours in the digital world?
The first thing that I will say, it is to invest in themselves. And that's what has helped me a lot. Nothing comes just by wanting it or by not having the knowledge. When the opportunity presents, you must be ready to take on. So the first is to get education and invest in yourself, and also to understand the market. It is really important. Sometimes we wanted a career and we don't know where to start. But if we go and do an internship and the career that we want, then we can understand how many areas or where is our passion, where are our fortes. Because sometimes we think that we want something. When we get in, we say, you know what, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I'm good for. So if you do a scholarship or the internship,
Yeah.
you tap into the field and then you understand. You keep growing and investing on your education, and also to have a strategy. And I say this to my clients, and this is for everything, Andrea, and you know it because you're also a mentee for businesses like mine. But in reality, if you don't know where you're going, you can really get lost in the process. So have an idea, where do you want to go, and how many years you would like to accomplish that. And then make a map and say, okay, this is my first step. Don't try to run before you walk, and kind of like have fun with the process and get to understand what do you really want and how to accomplish it.
And you mentioned twice education.
Yes, that's huge.
But we didn't hear any recommendation. Are there courses out there? Are there any particular tools that people should be learning to implement digital marketing in their businesses?
Yes, it is many tools and many certifications. For example, if you already went to college and you got your BE or your MBE or your master's in any marketing, right? And you want to specialize in digital marketing, you can take courses in Google. They have great resources. You can also, in HotSpot have great certification as well. MIT for the artificial intelligence, because now...
I was actually going to ask you about that, because I see a lot of people talking about getting, knowing how to use the artificial intelligence tools.
Yes.
Has that helped, or is that something that is being used currently with your agency?
Absolutely. We actually, at first we were really scared and skeptical, and I think all the industries have feel the same way. All the artificial intelligence came to replace jobs. But in reality, if we learn how to use it, we can actually do more with less time and take advantage of how the technology is advancing. We use it in the agency, and we have seen better results using what we know from our background and expertise combine it to the AI and humanize the AI and the message. And I think that's crucial so for any a small business that is growing or any young generation that is trying to position in the market, it is to tap into what's in the industry. And right now, definitely the AI is one of them.
Amazing. And you just mentioned also mentorship.
Yes.
So how important is mentorship between women, or are you involved in anything right now where you perhaps are a mentor to others?
Yes, I'm a mentor to others, and I'm also a mentee, which is Andrea. You have doing an excellent job with me, and in the past year, Andrea has helped me so much with how you manage your mentoringship. But right now, I have two different organizations that I involve. I'm part of the board of director on a small of a non-for-profit that helps small businesses to have those interaction with key persons that make the decisions in businesses, right? And I'm also have a program with my agency that calls the Power of Your Brand. And what I do in the Power of Your Brand is help in a year, I help two women to understand how they can actually implement their business strategy, how they can actually tap into the technology, how they can grow their business, and also how they can have an online presence that is sustainable and that they can actually grow their business. So right now I am doing two,
Excellent.
and every year
Very
I do
busy.
two.
Yeah.
And I do it as a give back to the community, and I do it with a lot of passion.
I love it. Thank you so much. So hey, before we go, can you share where people can find you?
Yes, absolutely. You can look us up in our website at dnsagencyny.com. Also, in our social media, we are in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And you can also use the same handle, DNS Agency NYC. And also, you can search for myself as a Sojey Fernandez. You're not going to get lost because as you type my name, I think I'm one of the first one that appears. So you can definitely reach us there.
Yeah. And would you like to provide an email right now?
Yes, absolutely. You can send an email to info@dnsagencyny.com.
Excellent. So you can reach Sojey at her email, at her social, at all the ones she just gave, info@dsagency.com. I repeat, info@dsagency.com, and you can inquire more about her mentorship, her involvement with nonprofits, her expertise with small businesses and helping you grow and helping you reach your goals. I think that is all the time we have for today. I thank you so much, Sojey, for joining us. It's been a tremendous pleasure in having you. Thank you. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Meetings of the Minds on BronxNet. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have our second guest today. It is a trademark lawyer and the founder of the firm Ospina Law. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Tannia Ospina. She joins us today to highlight her business, the services she offers to entrepreneurs and influencers. So please help me in welcoming to our show, Tannia Ospina. Hello, Tannia.
Hello, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us or tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you got your career in law started?
Sure. So my name is Tannia Ospina, and I'm the founder of the Ospina Law Firm, and I also have a legal templates business for entrepreneurs called Law Bizette. And I've been an attorney for more than 10 years, but originally I started in a different practice area. So I switched my practice area to intellectual property a few years ago, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life.
Amazing. And what inspired you to get started with your own practice?
So through my entrepreneur journey, I think I was really meant to just be an entrepreneur. My mom had businesses, my other family members have had businesses, and I, graduated law school. I was a new mom, young lawyer, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to start up an online business right after law school. And it was a completely separate business from law. So it was an online boutique. And through that, I started having issues with my intellectual property, people stealing my images, pictures of my children. And then I just got fascinated by this type of law. And then I said, I love this type of law. I want to work with business owners. I really understand business owners because I've been one myself in a really difficult business. And I said, I'm going to switch my practice areas and I'm going to start this, this new firm. And it's
Fantastic.
one of the best things I've ever done.
Fantastic. Can you share a little bit more about the services you provide exactly?
Sure. So I work with business owners really protecting their intellectual property. So intellectual property covers trademarks, contracts, and then also copyright. So I help them receive their copyright registrations, trademark registrations. I also help them review agreements because I have clients that are influencers as well. So really anything that they need protection, whether it's their business name, their logo, I help them secure that. And then I also kind of help them with their website too, make sure that their website's compliant because there's so many different issues you can have with your website. Even just offer them general support in business law related. So, minimize their risk of getting sued by someone.
Excellent. I usually like to ask people when they do this show, because there's so much youth out that perhaps is considering a career or still in high school and wondering, where do I go next for the next big thing, right? So in terms of becoming a lawyer, what would you suggest to that aspiring young high schooler?
I would suggest, I think we need more attorneys, especially Latinos. I'm Latina, Spanish-speaking attorneys in the United States. I would suggest that they, reach out to attorneys like myself, find mentors in the field. I think that they should really I think in college it doesn't really matter what major you
There is no
major in.
specific undergraduate degree that would help them?
It depends really what type of law they're going to get into, but I would say just really work on getting good grades. That matters.
Good
right?
grades.
Good
You
grades.
heard it here. Good grades, please.
And hopefully they like to read. And then meet some lawyers, talk to them, ask them what they do every day. And I think because being a lawyer, you really can do so many different things. And I think entrepreneurs really are also great attorneys. And great attorneys are entrepreneurs. So I think, you can be a criminal defense attorney. You can be someone like me, intellectual property. So there's so many different areas of law you can get into. I think it's really just what works for you.
Excellent. And why would an influencer or a business owner need to protect their logo or need to protect any creation they come up with? What is at risk here?
So really at risk is all their hard work. You really risk a lot when you don't protect your name, your logo, because you can literally be forced to rebrand, and it's happened to a lot of people that I know, and you really risk just having to start all over again when you're in this online space, right? It's such a popular space. And there's a lot of infringement. There's a lot of people copying each other. So when you don't protect and assert your rights and you don't get these trademark registrations, you run the risk of having to start all over again, having to find a new name, being forced to rebrand, lose all the time you spent marketing and even investing in that name.
What does the process look like? Let's say we design here a new logo for BronxNet and they reach out to you. What does that look like? Like, what are the steps? What is that journey for a business owner?
So at first, when they start working with me, I do have an onboarding call because I like to get to know the business owner, really what is important for them so I can prioritize. So we start there. I have a call, I get to know the business. I explain the trademark process, how long it is, because it is a legal process, so they have a better understanding of, you know, how much time it's going to take, because it does take us a few months. It could take up to a year for you to get a trademark registration, and then after that, you know, we go and submit the application. We wait to hear back from the USPTO. They approve it, or they don't. They have some issues with it. I take care of that, and then after that, it's approved for registration, and we get a certificate. But it's really just a powerful way.
Are there any renewals afterwards?
You do have renewals every certain, like 5 years, 10 years. It gets a little, you know, you do have to renew, because you do have to show that you're actually using it.
So people would normally need to stay with you in order for you to be attentive to those dates, I assume.
Yes, yes. They would need to, you know, and I stay in contact with them. Hey, your renewal is up, and, you know, and hopefully they stay with me as long as I'm doing my job. And usually they do. So, and, you know, for me, it's, I think my approach to legal is really making myself accessible and really just try to understand the business owner and understand their business, so we can prioritize legal protections, because you can protect a lot of things in your business, but there are some that are more important than others.
So your specialty is intellectual property.
Yes.
And contracts, you mentioned. You mentioned a portal. Can you elaborate on that?
So it's a legal website that has templates and contracts where you can download them and start using them today. So it's a way for me to really make, you know, having contracts in your business very accessible and very affordable to people, because you go online, buy one of my contracts, and you can start using it right away.
A template, if you will.
A template, you have to fill it out with your personal information, and there's instructions that will help you fill it out yourself, but then that way you're not paying, you know, hourly fees to have someone do it for you. And these are just a very, you know, great way to do, you know, take care of your the legal stuff in your business.
Now, are the contracts on this portal valid for New York, New Jersey, or where can they be used?
So it's called Law Bizet, and they are general contract principles. So I always say you always want to make sure that if there's any specific guidelines, for example, there's specific guidelines in New York when it comes to certain employment relationships and employment contracts, you do have to make sure that you have it ultimately reviewed, but it depends on the contract, right? Some, or a template, if you're gonna use a website template, those are general, and they should cover you across the US.
But the ones you offer?
Yeah, they're general contract principles. They're not state specific. If you want state specific, we do have to review it and customize it for the state.
And can you repeat again that website for our viewers if they'd like to go on and check out what you have there?
Yeah, it's Law Bizet. It's www.lawbizette.com.
Excellent. I think that sounds very practical, I would imagine, for any business owner.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. And actually, that's like one of my main principles for my business, to make legal practical and help you prioritize. So it's just a great way. And I'm also an entrepreneur first, you know, so I'm not only a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneur, and I understand we're busy, right? We have a lot of things to do. So it's
a lot of expenses also.
A lot of expenses. There's so much, right, all the time. So I want to make legal affordable for business owners, but also give you protection, because at the end of the day, contracts really do their job. They protect you. They make sure you get paid. I want my clients to make sure that they get paid, but if you don't have contracts with people, then
and also for you not to get sued,
yes,
right?
Minimize.
If you're hiring.
Or if you do have a lawsuit, you control where the lawsuit will be, right? Because they signed a contract saying that they agree to be taken to court in New York. And that's something very powerful, right? Are you going to sign a contract that says that they could take you to court in Florida? No,
LA
no,
right now?
You don't want LA,
No.
California. You don't want that. You want to be able to control these terms. So that's why, honestly, for all entrepreneurs, you need to use contracts that are very favorable to you, the business owner.
Are sometimes revisions happening, I assume, correct? Once both parties read prior to signing, and then it's finalized, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So, and what about for the lawyers that are, I know we spoke just about going into law, but going into specifically trade making and trademarking and startup business? Like, how does that differ in law school?
So you can take classes that where you specialize in trademarks or copyright because those are different types of intellectual property. But really in law school you would take intellectual property just as a general subject and then really then try to get some experience. Now your typical attorney, intellectual property is a very difficult area to get into. I kind of did not do it that way. I did not take any classes in law school because I switched my practice area, remember? So I sort of got lucky and I was able to get into this practice area and really have a lot of success in this practice area, but it was because of my business experience. Then of course I worked for other lawyers, I took some courses as an attorney, and then I specialized in trademarks. So there's also, it's better obviously to do it in law school, but sometimes in law school you don't know what you're really going to love. So there's still different options to do it after law school and get into this practice area.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I'm mentoring some students too, some law students, to help them get into this practice area because it is a little bit difficult sometimes.
So it's your way of giving back.
Yes.
Any particular law school you're affiliated with at the moment, or that you're allowed to say, of course, because?
No affiliation. It's honestly been very informal mentoring.
Very good. Excellent. So we are nearing our end. Where can we go to learn more about your law firm, aside from the contracts page?
Okay.
So where can people find you, Tannia Ospina, the lawyer?
So you can find me on my law firm website is theospinalawfirm.com. I know it's very long. So theospinalawfirm.com, the OSPINA lawfirm.com.
Excellent. And your offices are New York and New Jersey?
Right now, just in New Jersey, but hopefully that will change soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Tannia.
Thank you for
joining
me.
us. Oh, lastly, do you have any social media handles?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
You can follow me on Instagram, Tannia Ospina Law, and then on TikTok, Tannia Ospina Law. So it's TANNIA Ospina, OSPINA Law, both on TikTok and Instagram. And then I'm also on Pinterest, too.
On Pinterest,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's because
Excellent.
of the e-commerce person in me. I'm on Pinterest.
Thank you, Tannia. I want to thank our guest today. We spoke earlier with Sojey Fernandez. Right now, Tannia Ospina. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and our viewers for tuning in and checking us out. Keep following BronxNet TV for continued coverage. If you're not a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, you can always visit us at hispanicchamber.nyc. Again, that is hispanicchamber.nyc. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn and at Facebook and Instagram at Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, all spelled out. And I'll see you next time for another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with BronxNet TV. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.